This week in comic books, we get Sergeant Rock from DC, and man, it's just soldiers living their best life. That's all that book is, man. It is awesome. In the lands of Marvel, we get Yoda doing something we're probably not used to seeing since for quite some time now, just being a badass. Just lightsabering it up and dropping those bodies. And in the land of Independence, it's a weird week in Independence. I read some weird stuff. Like I don't know. One book is super self-righteous, and the other one is just a '90s nostalgia. Pockets, guns, and muscles. That's it. So let's review these books. But first, let me help you out with your Christmas shopping. I got an idea for you. Check this out. Hey guys, what's going on? You know, Christmas time is upon us, right? And we all know that person that we have to get something for just so we can stay in their will, stay in their good graces, or just know that they're going to give us something and we just don't know what to give them. Well, our boys over at Coffee Brand Coffee are making it super easy for you this year with gift boxes that you can have sent, delivered, or just give to them outright. But be sure to use promo code POCANJOE so you can save yourself 10% on your purchases because, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive, folks. It's just Christmas. So definitely, again, check out our boys over at Coffee Brand Coffee. Use promo code POCANJOE and save yourself 10%. Let's get into the review. Hey, you wonderful weirdos. Happy Turkey Day. Happy Turkey Day. Hope you guys are getting all filled up on stuffing and goodness. But I'm going to jump into these comic books real quick. And first one we're going to bring out is Sergeant Rock and the Army of the Dead, number 3. This is issue 3. And this has just been non-stop action. Like, you get cool stuff, you go do cool stuff, right? In this one, they get bazookas, special sniper rifles, like all the stuff we pretty much use today. They're getting a lot of that stuff in here to go destroy the zombie making factory and to capture a Nazi doctor. Oh, this is just non-stop action. One-liners, combat one-liners, like flame on while you're using a flamethrower. They said that in here. I was like, that's kind of funny. So definitely highly enjoying this just for its sheer just violence and just action. It's just action packed and it's really good. And even some of the one-liners are kind of funny in here. Like, I know they're trying to do like an 80s cool guy thing when you say something cool after you do something cool, right? But in this one, like, it just fits for some reason. So I'm enjoying this so much. It's so good. Next, so I already read this comic book, but I picked it up for the cover. This is the local comic book shop day. Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. So inside, if you don't know, this is all just sketch drawings of, you know, no color, black and white. And then, of course, I had to get that cover as well.
Boom!
I thought that was really cool, so I went ahead and picked that up. Super happy to get that. So that jumps me right into Marvel. Not a lot I was interested in DC this week. Most of the stories I'm either out of or I fell out of, and I'm just, you know, it's a thing. It happens with comic book collectors. Next, we get Star Wars. So this is interesting.
Tom, Star Wars is not that nerd.
So this is just like the cover. This cover would suggest. It is an amalgamation of everything that is going on in the Star Wars universe right now. So if you don't know a lot of the things, you're probably wondering who a lot of these characters are. We do get a couple of first appearances in here. Do those characters have any staying power or not? I don't know. I don't know much about the outside of the baseline comics and the movies, right? And even some of the shows. I don't really have a broader understanding of the universe in Star Wars as it goes. You get Dr. Aphra, you get the bounty hunters, you know, the whole Luke and Leia crew there with Han Solo, Chewbacca, all of them. You get some droid action in here. That's probably my favorite part of Star Wars, is the droids. I love the droids in that. And of course, this is all about Vader getting some visions about, you know, what could be, right? Because that's how the Force works. There's no defined answers in the Force, right? It could happen unless you interject. But what if your interjection is the thing that makes it happen? They just kind of glaze over that. Like, don't think about that. Just do something about it, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not saying I hated this book. I'm just saying that there was a lot of things that I just didn't connect to in here. Like, I know the Dr. Aphra only by name in the first 5 issues of a comic book when it first came out. The Bounty Hunters, I think I read those all the way up to like issue 12. So there's a lot of pieces that have obviously happened that I'm just not connecting with in here. But all in all, it was a good comic book. Like I'm not saying you needed that stuff to sustain it, right? Bad guy's going to go do bad guy stuff. But our major draw to this particular story is a character by the name of Ajax, an android who seeks what any impoverished, impressed, or suppressed people would want: freedom. He's a droid that wants to be free, which is fitting for the name Ajax in here. And apparently he's going to kick up a little bit of a problem with the droids because apparently he had a battle in the past. And his brain box memory thingy, right? Because that's how we compute things. We just stick a chip or a box in a head. Apparently that's been found. He's been remade, and he's going to be going after it again. So we got an unrelenting, cold machine that wants freedom. Okay, you know what? I'll follow down for that aspect of it. All the other stuff is glitter and gold as far as I'm concerned. But so yeah, I like that. I really like that. Plus, when you get scenes like this in here of what could be, right? It's good art. It's not bad. Nothing's crazy out of proportion in it. And no matter what age Star Wars fan you are, you're going to recognize something in this because of the different things that it kind of plucks from, right? The movies, the cartoons, it pretty much plucks from everything. So all in all, it's an okay book, but I really like this Ajax story, and that's why I'm going to be picking up some more of this. Keep it on with Star Wars.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
We got Yoda. So remember those couple of scenes that we got way back in the 90s where Yoda's like flipping around and grabbing his lightsaber in midair, slicing and dicing things? We get that again, right? We get that again in this book, and it was cool, right? So planet has a problem. There's a more technical, advanced civilization, a more indigenous type of civilization or village, if you will. They come attack because they want the food and stuff like that, and suppress the people. The people figure out how to send a message off into space. Jedi Council gets it, and they're like, should we go? Should we not go? Is this really our thing? Right? They do the political thing back and forth, and Yoda's like, yo. Or I guess he would actually say, yeah, he'd probably say something to the effect, go I will, yo. I guess. Right? Anyway, he travels to the planet and just like slices and dices, right? And it was cool. It was cool to see the little short guy with the waving the sword in the air. I don't know. It was kind of weird for me, but I enjoyed it. But also we get in this, there's a continuation. Like, this could have been a one-shot, one and done. But no, they're going to continue this on. And of course, Yoda, being Yoda, old and wise, has to pick up some sort of apprentice of some sort. So apparently he's growing a bond with the kid that actually sent out the signal in this. So all in all, this was good. This is heartwarming fun with some action involved in it. I enjoyed it. Next, Ancient Enemies. So this is weird. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. I'm not a fan of this type of storytelling. I guess it works for some people. It doesn't really work for me because it's extremely self-righteous. You have two cities here. One's obviously poorer than the other one. The one that's better off has a superhero team, big brain science thing that doesn't really make any sense the way that it works. But apparently they got some alien technology, built some superheroes, yada yada yada. And on the poorer side town, they have like one person who's just like a combat veteran, right? From the days of the beginning of the alien wars or whatever. Also on top of this, and these are two females that are kind of running everything. Not that that makes a difference, but it should be distinguished because apparently there's two people that are inhabited with an alien warring race that have been at each other's throats for like generations. So that's over here now, and you got that. So you got the battle below and the battle above, right? Kind of happening. Kind of scenario there. And the reason why I say this is completely and utterly just some self-righteous validation between these two women, it just comes off weird. Like they're frenemies, which I hate that term.
You can't eat the biscuits if you don't pay for the flour.
But anyway, they're super nice. They known each other for a while, but they really can't stand each other. And it's just constantly, I do this, I do this, I do that. You need to understand. And that's cool and everything. Like, I get you need to set up why your hero's in the position that they're in. But they shouldn't be telling themselves that, because that's just bragging, right? Like, that's just bragging. It should be somebody else should have mentioned it, or maybe started everything off with a really cool flashback scene instead of just talking about an alien ship in its flashback scene. Maybe kind of flashback to why these people are who they are versus us just constantly being told that they are, right? Like actions over words. I don't know. However, but that's a minor annoyance in here. I am kind of interested in how they go about this story. Because I'll even read bad comics. I'm not saying this is bad. Let me be clear on that. I'm not saying this is bad, but I will read a bad comic or a badly written story, regardless. Because I'm just kind of curious how they end up justifying the it's just outright selfish attitude in this, right? Because they should be villains. Will they be? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, by the way, this is Frank Miller, by the way, his new publishing deal. Next, something I thought was interesting, and it's just 90s nostalgia. Again, this is a local comic book shop day book called Death Rage. So take Bizarro and Deadpool and kind of throw them together, right? And that's where we get Death Rage here. This is kind of his origin story, why he is the way that he is. Basically, we use super soldier serum, and we put a computer chip in his brain, and it's malfunctioned in some way, shape, or form. He's got a cool little mask that does all the little face things, like you see in a lot of Asian concerts and stuff. You know, it's got the eyes and it changes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's weird, but they're basing this off the whole Spartan secret society thing. So Spartan never really went away, right? They just went underground, and they've been kind of influencing and causing death matches and assassinations. It's like John Wick / Justice League. That's a bad example, but it's the best I got for you right now.
Is this the guy?
Yes, this is him.
Hakote Haume.
Ah, yes.
All in all, it's funny. There's one-liners in it. He's completely insane like Deadpool, and he does the opposite of what he's told like Bizarro. That's why you get that combination. So yeah, this is fun. It's a simplistic story, but again, it mostly heavily relies on its bloodbath story to really push things through. It was okay. It was I would read some more of that. Last but not least, we have Vanish number 3. I am becoming a fan of this because we're finally dealing with what Oliver, our protagonist in this, anti-hero. I'm going to go with anti-hero instead. What his real addiction is. So as we know, he's an alcoholic. He's kind of a piece of shit here on Earth. But back in his magical woo-woo land of Hogwarts, he was like a kid learning magic. Well, some groups came and took that away from him, took that entire world away. Now all these kids are grown up and in our world, and the grittiness of our world, if you will. And this is a gritty comic book. But we find out that he can actually drain magic from people. It was hinted at before, but never really explained. He can drain magic from, and it is like that poison to the veins to him. It is the good feeling, and he's obviously an addiction to it.
Yes.
I think that's funny because he's also very self-righteous in this too, after he gets his drug, about how he's really doing the good thing and how dare you bad guys tear up my world, right? He gets very which is probably more real than most people want to let on. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you go to a rehab center, their first week in there, you will meet some of the most self-righteous people. It's not funny, but it is a common trait. So I find that they kind of tapped into this story. I really enjoyed that. And of course, we meet new characters. Like, every issue of this is like a first appearance or something like that. Not that any of that should be worth any money, but it just broadens this world every issue a little more to give you more of an understanding about what the world was before they came here. So the bad guys are superheroes in this, and the real heroes in this, well, things are about to get dangerous for them, because like anybody that suffers from some sort of addiction or something along those, and they become very self-righteous, they tend to forget about the repercussions of their actions, their drug use, around their friends and family and things like that. And I don't mean just drug use. We can also throw alcoholism in there. We can throw sex in there. Whatever it is that you do that's over the top, right? It becomes the most important thing while you're trying to maintain some sort of stability. Generally ends up affecting other people, because the first thing they do is look at you and go, who are you to lecture me about anything? So I really like this. This is good. I've heard some criticisms about the art, like what's the deal with that cape? And it's just a costume. Who cares? But I really like the different, like you get scenes like that in here. Like that is just creepy. And this dad controls like these little micro strings that can slice right through you, like a garrote. It's awesome. So yeah, I like this. I would. What issue are we on? We're on like issue 3 of this. If you haven't picked this up yet, this again, I try to avoid recommendations. I really do, but I don't think this book is getting the love that it deserves. Definitely go out and get yourself 3 issues of this. Read through this and let me know what you think, please. Please, I'm enjoying this. Or if you've read this, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I really want to know. I don't think this book is getting enough recognition, and I would love to see more people read this. I think it would resonate with a lot of people. So that's my haul this week. Relatively short one. I'm cooking turkeys today, so I'm kind of busy. If you get the opportunity, the link's down below for Coffee Brand Coffee. Definitely just go take a look. I'm not saying you have to buy anything. I'm not asking you to buy anything. Just go take a look and let me know if there's something we can put in there, something we can add, whatever the case may be that you find interesting. Other than that, I don't have anything else. It's a pretty slow week. Talk to y'all later. Bye.